Steve Lapis and his UMass Minutemen have been buoyed by an array of young talent that have come of age offensively. The Kitty Corps is fun to watch. Xavier, they're rolling. The Muskies protect their home floor as well as any squad in the nation. The best in the month of February in the A-10. UMass and Xavier coming up next. You're inside the Cintas Center on the campus of Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio. We welcome you on the Atlantic 10 television network. A-10 battle today. Steve Lapis brings the UMass Minutemen in to see Thad Matta and his Xavier Musketeers. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Great to see you. Delighted you're here. Michael Regai joined by Mark Adams. Two basketball teams on an upswing. Both resurgent, playing outstanding basketball this month of February. Mark, for UMass, one of the top young interior players in this conference, Rayshawn Freeman, plays with dogged determination.
He plays with dogged determination, but he's a Rottweiler down low. He's a young man that just gets down and dirty in the low block. He likes to go get offensive boards. Very, very productive and a big bite to that Rottweiler.
Yeah, he's helped UMass with 4 of their last 5. The only loss, of course, that defeat at the hands of Dayton last Sunday. Now, for Xavier, they lost 3 in a row, but now they've turned it around. 1-3 straight. How have they done it? Senior leadership stepping to the forefront, led by Whip It Quick Lionel Chalmers.
Great leadership and great coaching, and Lionel Chalmers has knocked it down 53% of the time from behind the arc. Romain Sato playing like an All-American, and Anthony Myles getting it done down low.
Oh, the Xavier Musketeers, they know how to win here at home at the Cintas Center. That's a challenge for UMass. Try to slay one of the best at home in this conference. Don't go away. Valentine's Day treat for you. UMass and Xavier straight ahead on the Atlantic 10 Network.
The ball is brought to you by GMAC Financial Services and by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken.
The Cintas Center, beautiful facility here in the campus of Xavier University. And as we said, one of the fine home floor advantages around not only the Atlantic 10, but all of college basketball. As Steve Lapis brings his Massachusetts Minutemen in to challenge Thad Matta and the Musketeers of Xavier. Let's take a look at our Heineken starting lineups. And there has been a change for Steve Lapis and UMass. Both Rayshawn Freeman and Anthony Anderson, apparently late for a team meeting today, will not start. So Stefan Lasmy and Chris Chadwick step in. And those seniors, Anthony Myles, Romain Sato, and Lionel Chalmers, have been buoying Xavier. Steve Lapis, third year now at UMass, and has his ball club hot, winning 4 of the last 5. And Thad Matta, third year here at Xavier, and Matta has been tremendous, winning A-10 West titles in each of his first 2 years.
Well, Thad Matta is a guy that has really willed this team back to winning basketball games, struggling as we saw a few weeks ago. Now have won 3 in a row, and Thad Matta's done a tremendous job of bringing this ball club back with confidence.
All right, settle back and enjoy it as UMass and Xavier jump with one another here at the Cintas Center. That's slapped away, and it'll stay with UMass. So without Rayshawn Freeman, at least to start it, now they will play. As we told you, 15 points and almost 8 rebounds from this 5-time A-10 newcomer of the year. And senior Anthony Anderson also out. Now Romain Sato off that rip away. And it's stripped by Maurice Maxwell, the freshman out of Philadelphia. So a little bit sloppy here on both ends to start the first 16 seconds.
Well, UMass certainly having to adjust without Rayshawn Freeman and Anthony Anderson. But I love the message from Steve Lapis. This is a young ball club, and you cannot allow the tail to wag the dog. And with Steve Lapis, you will play with discipline. You will do it his way.
And his rotation is tight. We talked to Steve about that at the shoot-around today. Because of injuries to Gabe Lee, Marcus Cox, he only plays 8 in that rotation. Now this is Anthony Myles on that left block. Myles with that strong move going up and under and finishing off the glass.
Anthony Myles down low, getting it done. And again, that's a result of Rayshawn Freeman, a shot blocker, not in the game. And Xavier going right down low to Anthony Myles to start the day to take advantage of that defensive weakness for UMass.
And how about UMass 5th in the nation in block shots and 1st in the A-10. Stripped away by Myles. Doellman on a deal with Chris Chadwick underneath the hoop. Maurice Maxwell cannot dial up that long 3. Maxwell the freshman, and it will stay with UMass with a fresh 35 on that shot clock.
We'll see a lot of pressure man-to-man out of Xavier this afternoon. They force almost 15 turnovers per game, and UMass likely to give it up with a lot of young players in their lineup.
Well, last Sunday, the last time that UMass played at the Mullins Center, they got it tied up late against Dayton and had a couple of good looks with an opportunity to maybe beat the Flyers. The shots would not go down. That three from Chris Chadwick wouldn't fall. And we've got a whistle in the paint, and that foul is going to go on Maurice Maxwell on UMass. That'll be his first. Going back to the 96-97 season, look at what Xavier has done here. Well, first of all, it was at Cincinnati Gardens, and now their new home at the Cintas Center. Two of the losses, though, to this UMass ball club.
Well, UMass came in with guys like Marcus Camby and Lou Rowe. That had something to do with back in the 1995-96 season, which also had the longest winning streak in this conference, 26 games during that season. Just St. Joe's going after that record now.
That's right. Justin Doellman misfiring on that long-range three. And UMass will get their hands on the basketball again. Just the Anthony Myles strong move in the low post. Offensively so far, just the one field goal for either ball club.
And both ball clubs really trying to get the ball down low, but both ball clubs also playing excellent defense over the stretch of consecutive wins for Xavier and 4 out of the last 5 for UMass.
Turnover on Steve Lappis's ball club, their second. Art Bowers had too much sizzle on that pass for Jeff Viggiano.
Steve Lappis, of course, the former head coach at Villanova and at Manhattan, won the NIT, been to 4 NCAAs. Really just a remarkable head basketball coach.
Maurice Maxwell on the rip away. Maxwell to the hoop. Too strong off the glass. Had to steal, didn't finish it. Lionel Chalmers has been playing tremendous basketball, and that's the freshman, Justin Cage. Cage stepping in the starting lineup and draining that three.
Was inserted in the starting lineup to bring this team some energy, and now 3-0 in the starting lineup combined with his high school career, 29-0. He's won his last 32 games as a starter, Justin Cage.
Jeff Viggiano with that tough baseline step back that went down for him. Viggiano averaging better than 9 points per game. And Mark, noticing last year the young man as a freshman shot only 34%, is up to near 43%. Anthony Myles tried to come to work, and Stefan Lasme with the send away. This is Art Bowers, didn't get the roll.
Good defensive transition by Xavier, getting back, challenging the shot. And the Xavier Musketeers, they can play the 94-foot game as well.
The freshman out of Pike High School in that basketball mad city of Indianapolis, Justin Cage, has laced a couple of threes early.
Indiana's Mr. Basketball just 1 year ago, and you can see why. He can do it on the perimeter.
Anthony Myles dealing with Stefan Lasme and got the rejection. Lionel Chalmers teed up that three from out in the suburbs.
Steve Lappis was closer to the basket.
Maxwell wanted to give it up, tried to find Lasme, turnover UMass. Justin Cage gave it up to his freshman cohort, Justin Doellman, who's going to get to the free throw line. Xavier trying to push it, Mark. They're trying to use what? Defensive pressure to get that transition game going.
Well, that's Xavier basketball. They love the pressure. Thad Matta likes his players to get in and play tough man-to-man. And when you've got a Justin Doellman, a big kid that can run the floor, Anthony Myles runs extremely well. Justin Cage, that front line now has gotten noticeably bigger with Diedrich Finn coming off the bench. But they don't lose any quickness or athleticism attacking the rack from 94 feet.
6'9", Justin Doellman, the young man from Wow High School in Union, Kentucky. So here comes the 2 starters for UMass. Rayshawn Freeman, who we featured a moment ago in the open. Freeman is 6'9", out of Schenectady, New York, the sophomore. And also in the senior lead guard, Anthony Anderson out of Lynn, Mass. Justin Doellman came up front rim on both of his free throw attempts, and right away, Rayshawn Freeman gobbling up his first rebound of the day.
Well, sometimes you have to make a statement as a head coach, and right there, trying to get the ball down low right away to Rayshawn Freeman. Another turnover for UMass.
It's number 4 for the Minutemen. In rhythm, that triple will go down from Diedrich Finn. Now a six-man extraordinaire for Thad Matta, coming off and firing and knocking out that three.
And Xavier sharing the ball extremely well. This ball club already has 3 assists on the afternoon, and that's been the big difference in this winning streak. This ball club's played very unselfish basketball.
Rayshon Freeman short-armed it. A wide open look underneath the hoop. Didn't finish. Justin Cage finding Justin Doellman. Doellman will light up the three.
And every shot has come as the result of an extra pass. It went from Sato to Cage to Doellman.
And you can see Justin Doellman took a shot in the forehead just above the nose, and he's being attended to right now. But that three that just went down for Doellman, the 4th tray that Xavier has fired down here in the first close to 5 minutes.
Well, Xavier on a 9-0 run, and it's off a defense and unselfish offense. There's the extra pass. It's going bingo, bango, bongo, and Justin Doellman, who really was held scoreless over the last 2 ball games, but had 11 assists during that stretch. He's looking pass first, shoot second, but that time too good a shot to pass up for a good basketball player, Justin Doellman.
Well, there you see Doellman again. Let's try to take a peek and see where Doellman took this shot. Was it on delivery?
I wonder if he got it a little bit earlier.
Might have.
Because he didn't get fouled on the shot, that was obvious.
Yeah, so already 4 different Xavier players have hit the scoring sheet. The three from Maurice Maxwell. Offline, Romain Sato in a hurry.
Well, Romain Sato is such an effective rebounder. He blocks off, he's got good hops. He does a lot of little NBA things, and rebounding for his size is one of those things.
Anthony Myles against Rayshon Freeman, and that's going to be a travel on Anthony Myles. All right, get our first time out here in the early going. The freshman Justin Cage out of Indianapolis, Indiana, already with a quick 6. He has knocked out a couple of threes. Xavier with a 12-point advantage early. 9-0 run for the Xavier Musketeers, punctuated by the ability to protect their hoop and then get runouts marked. Let's go back and see where Justin Doellman took this shot.
A lot of big bodies inside, and by his own player, Anthony Myles, with the left elbow. And did it hurt Doellman very badly? No, he just went down and drained the three.
They're the result of the shot from his teammate Anthony Myles, and it sent Justin Doellman back to the Xavier locker room to be attended to. And for the Xavier Musketeers, of course, Romain Sato. We'll find out more about Sato coming up at halftime. The young man from Dayton Christian High School. And of late, he has really caught fire. Viggiano swoop into the hoop. Finger roll wouldn't fall for Jeff Viggiano, and here's Sato in a hurry. Diedrich Finn in rhythm. Gave it up to Myles. Sato for 3. Nope, it rattled out on him. Justin Cage to come away with the basketball.
Justin Cage and Anthony Myles are just attacking the offensive glass right now, and Rayshon Freeman and Jeff Viggiano having a tough time getting a body on those 2 guys. Myles and Cage getting it after all the offensive glass.
An entry pass. Anthony Myles will fade away and go glass. Cage kept it alive again, but picked up by Maurice Maxwell. Well, Justin Cage extremely active here early.
Very active, very strong, and he's a kid that's not afraid to go try to make plays. He just goes after the offensive glass with a vengeance.
UMass now is misfired on their last 6 field goal attempts. Well, Steve Lapper's telling us today just very, very pleased with what this young basketball team has been getting accomplished here in winning 4 of 5, and that push is going to go on. They get Anthony Myles, they get Diedrich Finn.
Well, I got a chance to work one of Steve's games earlier this year against Marshall in a victory for UMass. And you could see the young guys starting to come together, but they needed to learn a little bit how to play together because they just hadn't spent much time on the floor. But now this ball club's starting to get it into an extra gear.
Rayshon Freeman, Jeff Viggiano, Maurice Maxwell, Art Bowers. Been terrific. Viggiano from deep. Cannot triple. Maxwell took too many steps. Another turnover on UMass, and that'll be their 5th.
Xavier very, very successful over the last 3 ball games, and how have they done it? With great defense. Field goal percentage down to 37% against their opponents, and 3-point field goal percentage defense down to 27%. Man, that's great defense. Thad Matta has this ball club played extremely well. Take St. Joe's out of the equation. The hot team right now in the conference has to be Xavier.
Great look from Diedrich Finn to Justin Cage, but he was just engulfed. Rayshawn Freeman, along with Anthony Anderson, the 5'11 lead guard, they swallowed up Cage.
We are starting to see why UMass is such an effective national block party. Bigiano comes from the backside along with Rayshawn Freeman for the facial.
Lionel Chalmers, his 5th-year senior, already graduated from Albany, New York, pursuing his master's degree in the counseling profession. To have that young man tutoring your children anytime. Chalmers did a tremendous job. Shot clock at 2. The fadeaway jumper wouldn't go down. Brandon Cole, who just checked in. The freshman out of Illinois.
Another big body down inside to try to body up with Rayshawn Freeman.
Look at the step through from Freeman. Terrific delivery, and one coming from the line. We have heard Steve Lapis extol his virtues, Mark, and rightfully so. But this young man has just burst on the A10 scene and been huge. 9
double-doubles on the season, and he's such a man down low. When he catches it, he gets wide, and I love his footwork right there. A little head fake, a little duck under and off the glass. He's got a fine touch around the basket.
Now Freeman will connect on that 3-point opportunity. So Rayshawn Freeman, 53%er from the floor, only 59% from the line. And that's been one of the Achilles heel for Massachusetts this year, only shooting 62% for the strike. Spinning jumper from Sato never got to the rim, and a tough defense laid down by Art Bowers.
Chalmers getting into passing lanes. There he comes back again with the great hustle play.
You just called it, Mark. Tremendous anticipation. Lionel Chalmers off hesitation. Chalmers got held as he was trying to sail his way to the rim.
Lionel Chalmers and Romain Sato have learned how to play together, especially over these last several games. And with Chalmers being at the point guard quite a bit, he's distributed the ball well. But when he gets avenues, he's taken full advantage of that opportunity. He and Sato now the dynamic duo for Xavier.
Now, Mark, that's an interesting point you bring up, because even though they're both seniors and they've played basketball together for 4 years, I mean, there are times that in any program that things will be less than fluid. We saw that here 3 weeks ago when Richmond came in here and helped Thad Matta's ball club to less than 25% shooting.
Well, and when you have great senior leadership, one thing about seniors, Michael, is when it hits February, they understand they got to win games to get the postseason play. And now all the team values that Thad has preached over the course of the 4 years are now coming to the forefront for Sato and for Chalmers if they want to go to the NCAA tournament.
They have both been extraordinary in this run of 3 in a row. Over the top, Rayshawn Freeman, he left it front rim. I like the strength of freshman Brandon Cole at 6'8".
Brandon Cole did not back down.
Justin Cage going glass. This is an 8-point first 8 minutes plus for Justin Cage, the freshman.
Xavier has great offensive flow early in this basketball game. The ball is going from one side of the floor to the other. We're getting post-entry passes inside out. This has been an offensive clinic early on for Xavier.
Musketeers by 12. We have documented for you how well they protect this Cintas Center home floor there. In the month of February, we'll show you that here momentarily. They've been lights out. Rayshawn Freeman trying to wheel into the paint, and he got held. And that's going to be Lionel Chalmers on the hold for Xavier.
You can see how difficult it is to handle Rayshawn Freeman down low. He's been the 5-time Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Week. There's only been 12 weeks. He's won 5 times, and 2 of his teammates, Maxwell and company, have won it the other 2 times. So, I mean, this UMass ball club has great young talent. Art Bowers with the other A10 award, Rookie Award. Just fine young talent for Steve Lapis.
Isn't that amazing? 7 Newcomer of the Year awards. It just goes to show you what, and that's why Steve Lapis wears such a big smile. Why not? I mean, it's playing with freshmen and sophomores. And the only senior in that starting lineup, Anthony Anderson, as Rayshawn Freeman connects on that free throw. Well, the threes have been dropping here from out in the suburbs for the Xavier Musketeers. Dietrich Finn off the bench. Justin Doellman with the radar out. 4 of them down early. Xavier by 11.
Ponder this. You get what? About
Back inside the Cintas Center, I want to remind you our copyrighted telecast is produced by the authority of the Atlantic 10 Conference and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of all the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlantic 10 Conference is strictly prohibited. Cintas Center, as we said, one of the toughest places to win, not only in the A-10, but all of college basketball. 11-0 in February in this building for Thad Matta's ball club. And Mark taking that a step further, since Thad Matta has come to Xavier, they've won 12 straight here in February and 15-2 overall. Obviously, they like the Valentine month, huh?
Well, and I'll tell you what, it's no coincidence that Thad Matta and the Xavier Musketeers have won multiple championships as well here. That's what you do. When you win in February, you set yourself up for great national runs and national rankings.
Yeah, which they have done, winning in, of course, the Atlantic 10 here on the western side. That's Brandon Cole with the left hand. Wouldn't go down. Look at Cole stay with it and rock the rack. You got to admire that determination from Brandon Cole.
We are seeing that the future is now for Xavier and for UMass. A lot of young talent, freshmen and sophomores on the floor. And Brandon Cole, another big-time newcomer to this conference.
The lead is 13. Art Bowers, long-range 3 off the mark. Sato on the push.
Justin Cage with a great block off on the defensive end.
That's going to be a walk on Brandon Cole as he lost his footing trying to operate on the baseline.
Credit to UMass defense for getting back right away, taking away to the avenue to the basket. A lot of maroon jerseys getting back as Jeff Vigiano takes a break. He's been a hot hand for this ball club, been averaging double figures over the last several games, shooting the ball extremely well from 3. Ever since Gabe Lee was injured, which was a bad thing, turned out to be a good thing because Jeff Vigiano has played very, very well.
Well, how about the afternoon he had last Sunday at the Mullins Center against Dayton? 11 points, 13 boards, that's career high. And you're right, Steve Lapis is saying we could create some matchup problems with Vigiano at the 4 spot. Rayshawn Freeman trying to muscle his way around the rim.
Great help by Anthony Myles coming on the backside to double team the low block on Rayshawn Freeman.
Romain Sato running with Lionel Chalmers, Dietrich Finn. Finn thought about the 3. Anthony Myles, Sato in rhythm. It's going to come up short. And it'll stay with Xavier as Myles had it knocked away by Anthony Anderson.
Well, this is a new look Xavier team. I mean, it's amazing the transformation. This ball club was not playing as well. And now Myles is going to the offensive glass. Justin Cage, Brandon Cole, they're all filling their roles extremely well.
Laying down the D today. Anthony Myles wanted to go up and under. Rayshawn Freeman, you got to love not only the offensive end, the way he protects that hoop.
Well, and then you have Stephon Lasby who comes in the ball game, one of the top shot blockers in the Atlantic 10 Conference, and he just causes a lot of problems down low along with Freeman.
This is Anthony Anderson, the senior, orchestrator of this Steve Lapis offense. Got Sato off his feet. Maxwell inside. It wouldn't go down for Maurice. That good look from up top as Maxwell made that backdoor cut.
UMass showing some patience offensively. They're getting the ball from one side to the other, looking for back cuts to the basket, sharing the basketball. There's the back cut, the diagonal pass right there. And Maurice Maxwell is a young man that's learned how to play together. He came in really as known as a scorer coming out of high school, but now he's learned how to give up the basketball, averaging 6 points in his freshman season, almost 7 now. Kid is getting it done.
So the numbers on Maurice Maxwell. Career high against a Marshall in non-conference play, went for 19, and there's Justin Doellman coming back. We've got the patchwork mark. You gotta love the tough kids right out of Kentucky. Justin Doellman.
Gotta love those Briars. I'm one of them as well. So I love those tough Kentucky kids that come in the ball game ready to play. I got to visit with Justin before the game. It's really a neat young man, very intelligent, and understands the game of basketball extremely well, as you would expect a good old boy from Kentucky to understand what hoops is all about.
Saw Justin Doellman not with his familiar number 15, but wearing number 14 after being involved in that collision with his teammate Anthony Myles. The Xavier lead is 12.
UMass switching up defenses now. What Steve Lapis is known for, going to the 2-3 zone. But once again, the offensive board work. Anthony Myles, Brandon Cole, they've been everywhere. Justin Cage.
That's going to be a walk on Diedrich Finn. Finn was looking to slash his way toward the goal and gave it up on the turnover.
You know, it's the little nuances of the game that make a difference, and Steve Lapis understands those nuances, switches up defense, and Diedrich Finn get a little bit out of rhythm, and then force the turnover. Now UMass's ball. Give that to great coaching by Steve Lapis.
Well, he really worked the defensive end today at shoot-around. Vijano baseline. Maurice Maxwell cannot triple. Oh, look at the legs of Romain Sato.
He took it off the shot clock.
Wow, way up in the attic with the lively hops. Diedrich Finn, that triple again won't go down. Sato on the offensive glass, and Steve Lapis is livid. He thought Sato maybe went over the back. They will get that offensive board.
Now Sato going up with two hands, and now UMass goes back to their man-to-man, and they dump it inside.
Anthony Myles lost the basketball. Credit that pressure from Rayshawn Freeman. Anthony Anderson, that long-range stroke. Maybe not the shot Steve Lapis was looking for there.
Now Steve Lapis would like to see a lot more ball movement because you don't get very many offensive rebounds with one passing shot.
The three from Romain Sato wouldn't fall, so now both clubs laboring from a long distance here.
Now UMass needs to get some rhythm right now. Get the ball movement. Anthony Anderson's got to run the show here and get the ball from one side of the floor to the other.
Art Bowers with a good look at the three. He'll touch it up. The iron rather kind here on the road to Art Bowers, finally getting in the book, the 9-point-a-game man.
He had 19 against Temple, 18 against Fordham, and 18 against Rhode Island in 3 consecutive wins. Art Bowers showing the hot hand on that shot.
He was a preseason choice for A-10 all-newcomer. That's Diedrich Finn stroking the jumper.
Nice job on a little pick-and-roll play. Diedrich Finn read the defense, came off the screen, ready to fire.
He's got 5. Well, Steve Lapis knows what Diedrich Finn can do. Bowers took contact, rejected by Doellman. Freeman trying to use his strength inside. Never got it to the rim.
Well, whenever Freeman catches the ball, he's like a magnet down low. White jerseys just collect all the way around him.
Now Doellman on that mid-left block. Diedrich Finn's going to back it out of there. So Finn operating with Romain Sato. Doellman. Rainbow three is right there.
UMass showed 2-3 zone and then matched up man-to-man with Romain Sato only. They were basically in a box-and-one, diamond-and-one set right there. Steve Lapis trying to switch up defenses, but Xavier reading each time and finding a way to score.
5th triple of the afternoon for the Musketeers. They've liked it from beyond the arc. Freeman off balance, fading away. And that's going to be Diedrich Finn going over the top of Art Bowers, that 6'4" freshman. Well, Steve Lapis' shot's not going down. He's loving the fact that his guards are going to go in there and bang on the glass.
You've got to be really understand that Steve Lapis needs to play great defense and offense with this young ball club. Offense could affect defense.
Justin Cage got rejected. And at the defensive end for Xavier, see Anthony Myles. Cage rerouting the shot. Xavier by 14. It's been a struggle for UMass trying to find opportunities around the rim.
Great interior defense. Xavier has made a commitment to take Rayshawn Freeman out of the game. And we will see the entry pass to the wing. And then watch the defense. The ball will come to the wing right here. And then watch the defense. Ball comes to the wing. We've got Freeman down low. Freeze it right there. Look at the defenders. Bingo, bango, right there. Now, watch the defense. The ball goes low. Look at the collapse down low. You got Myles. You got Cage. You got tough scoring down low. That's good interior defense by Xavier.
It really has been. UMass just 3 of 20 from the floor for a rather chilly 15%. Although the Minutemen trying to get it stopped on their defensive side as well. Remember, Xavier started 5 for 8. Now they're just 4 of their last 16.
Well, UMass is a young ball club on the road in a big arena here. Of course, they play in a big place in Amherst as well, but sometimes it takes those young players, especially when you suspend 2 and don't let them, You have two young guys that didn't get to a pregame meeting, and then they don't play up front. It takes a little while to get readjusted.
Off the Art Bowers missed three. We'll take a look at our U.S. Airways out-of-town board. The St. Joseph Hawks, number 3 in the nation. Keep rolling, 22 in a row. 14-point win at home over Rhode Island this afternoon. LaSalle in Philly with an 11-point home win. And the Explorers have evened things up at 5-5 now in the A-10. And Temple at home. John Cheney's ball club out of conference with a 4th straight win and a 6-point decision over Georgetown. Lorenz Fordham are at Richmond a little bit later on this evening. Right here, Xavier's lead is 14. Although the Musketeers, and we talked about, they have suddenly gone chilly as well on the offensive end.
Well, both teams playing good quality defense, but you know, Anthony Anderson's a guy that really needs to get involved. He can make some shots, but he's struggling with Romain Sato all over him.
Jeff Vijano is going to go to the free throw stripe. Vijano banging away on the offensive glass. And Justin Doellman got whistled with that Xavier personal foul. So right now for Steve Lappis's ball club, and Mark, you said that they had that 4-game win streak snapped by Dayton, but with shots not going down, the defensive end becomes extremely vital for him.
It really does, because young ball clubs who lose their confidence offensively, sometimes you get slippage on the defensive end. But so far, UMass able to hang in. You know, they're just having a tough time scoring points right now. And a guy like Vijano, he causes those mismatches inside and outside because he can stroke it from 3, and he's a very good offensive rebounder, as you saw there.
So Jeff Vijano at the free throw stripe. Vijano, a couple of hits pulling the Minutemen back to within 13. Rip away and stolen by Anthony Anderson. Maxwell gave it up. Anderson, deep 3, got it. Oh, the Massachusetts needed that. And Anthony Anderson delivered it. He was the one that created it.
He did on the defensive end, and UMass is showing 2-3 zone, but after the first pass, they're matching up in man-to-man. They're disguising their defense every single time down.
Romain Sato trying to get on the board. Went glass, a little bit too strong. Keith Jackson on the floor now for Xavier. Jackson, 6'6" junior from right here in Cincinnati. Now off the bench of Thad Matta. So let's see if that steal mark from Anthony Anderson and then the ensuing 3 that has pulled the Minutemen back to 10 will ignite them a little bit here.
Xavier's had a difficult time recognizing defenses on their offensive end, and UMass now, we talked about it before, Anthony Anderson needs to get off.
Doellman on the fleece. Justin Doellman had it partially rejected and now got it back. Give it up to Will Caudle, who wanted to attack the hoop, and he's going to go to the free throw line. You know, the turnovers have been a problem for the Minutemen of UMass here in the first half.
On Xavier's defense, Justin Doellman getting out in the passing lane, but look at the transition defense. And Stephon Lasme, that's why he's such an intimidating defender. He goes up and challenges every shot.
Will Caudle at the free throw stripe. Caudle, 9 starts this year for the young sophomore out of Indianapolis.
Played real well against Indiana earlier this season.
Will Caudle splitting the pair of free throws. Xavier is a ball club right around 67% from the line. We approach the 3.5-minute mark. Maxwell, big step to the hoop, gave it up to Lasme, who threw it down in traffic.
Maurice Maxwell finding the seam, and Stephon Lasme depositing the basket. Good team play by 2 good young players.
UMass back to within 9. Keith Jackson cannot connect from deep. Maurice Maxwell, who just made that sweet pass a moment ago. Well, he came up triggering that 3, and Steve Lappis said, Maurice, why?
Oh, and again, no passing shot. That just leads to defensive rebounds and full court situations for Xavier.
Look at Will Caudle bouncing into the paint and delivering with a left hand.
It's so much easier to rebound defensively when you never have to move, when you don't have to go from one side of the floor to the other. And that last shot, Steve Lappis didn't like it at all.
Lead is 11 for the Musketeers. Xavier trying to even up their A-10 slate today. Loose on the deck. Diedrich Finn came away with it after Art Bowers didn't finish. Oh, look at Anthony Anderson in the passing lane. A lot of numbers for UMass, and Anderson is going to get to the free throw stripe. Mark, he is tremendously quick as he steps in passing lanes anticipating.
Anthony Anderson watched that play the entire time running down the floor. He saw the Xavier player looking in that direction, anticipated, got in the passing lane, and just goes right to the basket. The leading scorer for the UMass Minutemen.
Again, just 62% as a team.
He's fourth all-time in three-point field goals made. At UMass is an Iron Man, Michael. He plays nearly 40 minutes every game.
Yeah, he does. 37 minutes a night, third in the A10 from long distance. Take a look at this very nice look from Maurice Maxwell that Stefan Lasby finished. Let us take a look at the Canon Business Solutions game story with Xavier on top by 10. Shots not going down for UMass at just 19%. And Mark, they've tried to find different ways to keep themselves in this one, as we've talked about the defensive end.
Well, certainly Xavier getting it done on the offensive glass. 7 offensive rebounds, out-rebounding UMass by 5 in the early going right now. And once again, Xavier playing great defense. That's how they got this thing refueled with 3 in a row by playing tremendous defense.
And they're going to host the West-leading Dayton Flyers right here at CINCINNATI a week from today. And Justin Cage, the freshman out of Indianapolis, insert his 4th straight start. And he has been playing major minutes and impacting the Xavier ball club in a very strong manner.
And there's your box and one matched up with Romain Sato. Right now, UMass shadowing Sato everywhere.
Justin Cage trying to use that strength. Cage is so long and strong too, with a great strength in the upper body, and moves his way around the rim.
Well, and UMass getting a little bit shifted in that box. Oftentimes when you're in a box and one, you will react to the ball, and at times, especially with a young ball club, you wonder what your defensive assignment is. Right there, Justin Cage able to slip behind the defense, find the open avenue, and get to the rack.
Well, Cage,
here's the box and one right here, as we see right there, Romain Sato moving against the defender and getting it down low.
Cage connecting on a couple of free throws, and already Justin Cage with a 10-point first half, tying his career high. As we hit the 2-minute mark here with Xavier on top by 12.
Boy, Anthony Anderson working Romain Sato through multiple screens on the offensive end.
I've got a whistle off the ball, and that's going to be a push on Romain Sato. Sato jostling Jeff Vijano as he was trying to come off a pick.
Well, Anthony Anderson working hard without the basketball, and Romain Sato always gets the tough defensive assignment. That's what's special about him. Not only is he a very good offensive player, but he always gets the toughest defensive assignment. And today, it's against Anthony Anderson going through a myriad of UMass screens.
Well, Thad Matta has said on many occasions that Romain Sato, in his mind, is senior in the Central Republic of Africa, the best guard both ways, both ends of the floor, in Matta's mind, in college basketball.
Well, and it's hard to argue, especially with Thad Matta, who's coached a lot of great players here. The Player of the Year last year with David West. It's been a program that's had just a tremendous success in the Atlantic 10 Conference.
You see the numbers on Jeff Vijano as he got the roll on that second free throw. So Vijano now with 5, and he has been on fire in the last 4, of which that loss for against Dayton last week. Massachusetts was on that 4-game win run. Rayshawn Freeman stepping in the passing lane, stealing the pass from Romain Sato.
Same ball movement as the previous play, but that time Freeman right in the passing lane.
That's a walk on Maurice Maxwell. Shovel the feet before he put the basketball on the deck. And look at Steve Lapis. Lapis, of course, he's no stranger to postseason play in his 9 years at Villanova, 4 years at Manhattan before that, and now first year in Amherst with UMass, 500 mark, and now in his 3rd season running the fortunes of the Minutemen.
4 NCAA tournaments, 4 NITs, won the NIT championship with Villanova.
Justin Doellman off the slash. Doellman got it up in the glass, but take it away. He got hit with a travel as Xavier turns it over.
Kind of like a tennis match. A lot of unforced errors here in the first half.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. Approach the 60-second mark with Xavier's lead at 10. Rayshawn Freeman. He draws a crowd, doesn't he?
Well, every time the ball goes down low, there's Xavier players everywhere, and he's the #1 option. So whenever he has taken away his opportunity to go to the basket, it seems that UMass tends to stand around a little bit, waiting for Rayshawn Freeman to get something done down low.
With 49.7 seconds left here in the first half, Thad Matta is going to get a 30-second timeout. When you speak of those that have been the best of the best in the Atlantic 10 going back 9 basketball seasons, you get Xavier and UMass second and fourth behind just Temple with the wins at about a 73% clip, but Xavier and UMass certainly in the top 5 in this conference.
Well, you talk about great coaches. You saw Temple at the top with John Chaney, certainly one of the most respected coaches in the country. You know, Pete Gillen, Skip Prosser, and now Thad Matta here at Xavier. UMass with John Calipari, Bruiser Flint, now Steve Lapis. That's a pretty good group of coaches right there.
Steve Lapis, you see, looking for his second win against this Xavier program. Last year, there's a lot of Dietrich Finn that paced the Finn at 21. That paced the Xavier win in Amherst against UMass. This is Lionel Chalmers sighting up that three. Look at Anthony Myles, didn't finish, but Doellman did. Left-handed putback went down for Justin Doellman.
Doellman and Justin Cage right there on the spot, ready to tip it back in, and Doellman just gets about a half an inch higher and gets credit for the deuce.
Justin Doellman now with 8 on the afternoon.
Doellman's kind of settled into his role where he's going to the offensive glass board, playing better defense.
Now with 4 seconds left in the first half. With 1, Anderson's runner wouldn't fall for him, and that will end the first half of basketball for the Minutemen of UMass. Just 19 first half points, a season low. Justin Cage, Justin Doellman, the 2 freshmen, huge for the Xavier Musketeers. Muskies by 12. Halftime coming up. Halftime here at the CINCINNATI Center with the Xavier Musketeers trying to even their A10 mark, up by 12 on UMass. Great to have you part of it here on Valentine's Day with my Valentine, Mark Adams. Michael Regai.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, yeah, shocking to him. A couple of things here in the first half, though. Freshmen for the Xavier Musketeers. Justin Cage, Justin Doellman, big on the offensive end. Boy, it's been a real lockdown for Xavier against UMass on the defensive side.
Well, and on the offensive end, as you mentioned, Justin Cage, Justin Doellman just been tremendous. Justin Cage knocking down threes. He's running the floor, getting to the open spots, lets it fly. And the same for Justin Doellman, another guy that's very good in transition. And if you leave him alone, he can knock down the three. And of course, Xavier holding UMass to only 18% in the first half. That's tremendous defense.
As we mentioned, the lowest first half output of the year for Steve Lapis's Minutemen. All right, a lot more halftime coming. Don't go away. It's Xavier by a dozen on the Atlantic 10 television network. Inside the CINCINNATI Center on the campus of Xavier University as UMass and the Musketeers battle. Senior guard Romain Sato of the Xavier, Romain Sato.
Hi, my name is Romain Sato. Je m'appelle Romain Sato. Amepa, Minawade, Irichimbeke Romain Sato. Mbote, Romain Sato. Baramo, Romain Sato.
Xavier senior guard Romain Sato is indeed a star in any language. In fact, that's the address of his website, and a long way from his roots in the Central African Republic. Consider the many sides of Romain Sato: multilinguist, devout Christian, all-American, and soon college graduate. He is thousands of miles from home and family, and a country that's been racked by civil war for years. His head coach, Thad Matta, marvels at Romaine's resiliency.
As I coach a guy like Romaine, I mean, I try to ask him as often as I can how his family's doing, you feel for, you pull for him a little bit more, just knowing what he's gone through and what his life must be like. You know, not being able to talk to his family once a week, or I think he talks to them, you know, once a month or something like that.
That is, if the phone lines are working. At least for now, it's a time of relative peace.
Everything slowed down, you know. It's not like a couple months ago, everything's like fighting, whatever. But now everything slowed down. Country's come quiet, like peaceful, so that's a good thing.
And that has allowed Romaine to have his mind squarely on completing his senior season with a flourish. He's always played better in the second half of each season, once first semester finals are behind him, even more so this year. But the talent is always bubbling near the surface, a gift he credits to a higher authority.
My talents come from God, so God don't want to give me that talent, so I appreciate what he done for me. And the only thing I would thank for is God, because sometimes I do stuff and I don't think I would be able to do it, but I've done a lot of things I don't think I can do it. So I always thank God, because God is a big part of my life. If he's not God, I don't have any stake to it. So, you know, that's how I keep my focus on with God and keep my faith the way I always do. So that's it. I feel like the talent comes from him.
Bountiful gifts indeed. Sato has already scored over 1,700 points, is the all-time career three-point shooter at Xavier University, a finalist for a series of prestigious postseason awards, and all the while with a smile on his face.
You know, I just want to have fun and just stop on the floor and play hard. That's what I always do, you know. Play hard and have fun. That's what matters. If you have fun, that's all you smile. If you don't have fun, it's not like fun.
And he certainly wants the fun to last as long as possible. He has learned that each step on life's journey is a true blessing, no matter where you start, no matter how you finish.
I would feel sad when it's handled, but I want to be happy because I want to get my degree and I want to finish in school. It's one thing my parents would be proud of me, you know, coming from different country and done a lot of things I've done in my life. And I always thank God because I don't know what's God out for me next time to do. So he's always on my plan. So I would never worry about anything, but I always want to have fun and see what happens.
A beautiful young man, Romaine Sato. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll take a look at all the numbers and the highlight package for the first. As well here on the Atlantic 10 Television Network.
Jay.
Xavier's lead a dozen at the break at 31-19. Great to have you part of it here at the CINCINNATI Center. Michael Regai with Mark Adams. Two basketball teams playing extremely well the last couple of weeks. Xavier's won 3 in a row. UMass in here winning 4 or 5. But Mark, except for that early Xavier hot shooting, both ball clubs had trouble getting into it fluidly in the first half.
A lot of defense in the first half, but we'll look at the offensive highlights as Anthony Anderson lets it fly from 3. Jeff Vigiano showing a little bit of dipsy-doodle on the baseline, slips but gets it done. And then Art Bowers knocking down the tray from deep for the Xavier Musketeers. Brandon Cole and company all over the offensive glass, just working hard along with Anthony Myles and Justin Cage all over the offensive glass in the first half. Justin Doellman with 8 first-half points, letting it rip from downtown. And Diedrich Finn, the Xavier Musketeers struggled, Michael, in the second half of the first half as Steve Lapis went to multiple defenses, but it's been all about defense for Xavier, holding the UMass Minutemen to 18% in the first half and getting 9 offensive rebounds.
We'll see what the final 20 minutes brings. That's still to come here in the Atlantic 10 Network. The Xavier lead is 12. Don't go away. A lot more Valentine's Day hoops out of Cincinnati.
Basketball is brought to you by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. And by U.S. Airways, the official airline of the Atlantic 10 Conference.
We're delighted to have you a part of Atlantic 10 basketball this afternoon with Xavier on top of UMass at 31-19. Let's take a look at the individual side. And for UMass, been tough. Jeff Viggiano with 5 on just the 1 field goal make. And Mark, for this ball club, been tough offensively. The 2 freshmen, Justin Cage, Justin Doellman, combining for 18. For UMass to get back into it, what do they need to find for Steve Lapis?
Well, continue to play quality defense like they did over the last 10 minutes of the first half, and get more touches offensively where they share the ball more actively and get in their half-court offensive flow. It's been a lot of one pass and no passing shot for UMass throughout the first half.
All right, we start the second half. This is Anthony Myles going glass, and Myles will get it to drop. Well, Anthony Myles, remember, back in the first half, got that 1 quick field goal, and then that was it as he battled Rayshawn Freeman. So Myles now with 4.
Xavier wanted to send a message that they were going to get the ball down low, and they did it exactly that on the very first possession.
Maxwell gave it up. Art Bowers off the slash. Oh, did UMass need that? The runner went down for Art Bowers, who averages better than 9 a game.
Well, Bowers and Maxwell and Freeman combined for 2 for 18 in the first half, but right there, Art Bowers getting off the snide.
You said very young basketball team. 3 freshmen and a sophomore in that usual starting lineup, although Rayshawn Freeman and Anthony Anderson did not start today. Romain Soto, he needed that, didn't he? Soto 0 for 5 in the first half, drilling that 3.
An excellent screen set down low by Myles and Doellman, and Romain Soto just set his man, came shoulder to hip off the screen and let it fly.
Right through the hands of Maurice Maxwell. Turnover on UMass.
Romain Soto comes off the double screen down. Look at Justin Doellman just getting in the way, creating the space for Romain Soto to catch, set, and let it go.
Well, Steve Lapis today is shoot around imploring his defense to always identify Soto, always identify Chalmers, and had to be up on it.
Because he's so dangerous. When he gets it going, I mean, he's not just a great athlete, he's also a very skilled basketball player. He can rise up, knock down the 3, can take to the basket, and we've seen his rebounding ability.
6'9" Anthony Myles, again trying to go glass and a little bit too strong. I'm talking to Thad Mata and his associate head coach Sean Miller today as Art Bowers has triggered another 3. So Bowers starting to feel it now. 5 quick ones for Bowers to bring UMass back to within 12.
There's one of those rookies of the week that we talked about earlier, and Art Bowers is a guy that can be explosive offensively. He's gone for nearly 20 points against 3 opponents just recently. He's got it going in the second half.
Is Sato feeling it? Misfired on that triple try. It'll be UMass basketball, but just to finish that thought a moment ago. See, Anthony Myles, the Xavier coaching staff feels when they sound elementary, but when Anthony Myles is on his game, usually the Xavier ball club has got a strong chance to come out on top, as that jumper from Anthony Anderson wouldn't go down. But Bowers has got an offensive board. Maurice Maxwell cannot connect on the 3. Another good look at it, though.
Much better flow for Massachusetts. They're getting the ball down the floor. They're sharing the basketball. They're getting good open looks here early in the half.
Trying to make that backdoor cut freshman to freshman as Justin Doellman wanted to find Justin Cage. Jeff Viggiano with the slap away. So 24 in the shot clock now for Xavier.
Xavier ball club that really works on scoring on their out-of-bounds plays. They like to attack the basket early in their out-of-bounds sets.
Doellman found a wide open Anthony Myles for the quick deuce.
That's as good of execution of an out-of-bounds play as you will ever see. Justin Cage set a humongous screen on the backside, which allowed Anthony Myles to come straight across the paint, undefended.
Well, now a half dozen for Anthony Myles. He's been hot in the last 3, averaged 13 points and better than 7 boards, and been shooting over 50%.
Well, Myles and Rayshawn Freeman just going at it down low, and Myles the winner of that particular physical battle.
Took it right away from Art Bowers. Lionel Chalmers, long range triple and ring it up.
Maurice Maxwell in his face, but Lionel Chalmers, who has knocked down 53.8 of his 3-point attempts over the last 3 ball games, right there shooting the ball with tremendous confidence.
Chalmers, yeah, he's absolutely been scalding beyond the arc. Sweet touch for Rayshawn Freeman, high off that window and down.
Well, that's hard to guard right there as Rayshawn Freeman gets wide, gets low, little fadeaway along the baseline, and the kiss off the glass.
Rayshawn Freeman now with 6. Freeman averaging 15 points a game. This was Justin Cage, gave it up to Chalmers. Lionel Chalmers, that step back jumper that wouldn't fall.
And that was great defense and probably an ill-advised shot right there as Chalmers was in his rhythm, feeling a lot of confidence, but right there, tremendous defense by Anthony Anderson.
I like Anthony Anderson's toughness. Rayshawn Freeman got bumped by Anthony Myles. And that'll be the personal foul on the 6'9" senior of Xavier, Anthony Myles. We're inside the 16-minute mark. First respite here in the second half as Art Bowers is starting to feel it. There on the runner. And then out of that spot up 3. Xavier's lead is 15. Back inside the Cintas Center, Xavier's lead is 15, and the execution on offense, a very sharp moment ago.
The special teams play, ball at the top of the key. Justin Doellman will come off and watch the screen by Justin Cage for Anthony Myles coming across. Great special teams play right here. Excellent execution. The ball goes to Doellman. There's the screen, and Anthony Myles wide open. We talked about it. Thad Matta loves to score on out-of-bounds plays. Some teams draw plays just to get the ball inbounds. Xavier draws up inbounds plays to score an attack.
Justin Doellman got those 8 in the first half, along with his Frosh buddy Justin Cage, who delivered 10. And making that superb pass a moment ago. Yeah. UMass likes the looks of that after the very chilly 18% first half, up to 60%, although the Minutemen just turn it over as Steve Lapis and to plead his case on that UMass sideline.
High energy guy and a fun guy to be around too. One of the really nice guys in college basketball.
I really enjoyed our conversation with him. He put his Minutemen through their shoot around this morning here at Cintas Center. Lionel Chalmers orchestrating this offense, and hasn't he been on fire in these 3 straight wins?
UMass again switching up defenses, going to some of their jump. A little bit of triangle and 2 right there, matched up with Lionel Chalmers and Romain Sato. 3 men in zone, switching and sliding defensively. It really gives the offense a difficult look, but Xavier able to move the ball, continue to run their man-to-man offense, which is the key, Michael. When you go against a junk defense, keep running your man-to-man sets, set screens, and move without the ball.
We saw them again here 3 weeks ago against Richmond in that loss where they shot less than 25%. It really started for them in that big win against their crosstown rival Cincinnati, as Anthony Myles will drain that jumper. And then, of course, the follow-up with a couple of more victories for the Musketeers. And I was impressed with that road win at Richmond the other evening.
That was a great victory for Xavier. They came out and really competed hard. And, of course, we all know that a Jerry Wainwright team is very good defensively, but Xavier was able to solve the riddle by playing so well together.
Justin Doellman whistled on that foul that will send Maurice Maxwell to the free throw line.
Very unselfish player. 59 assists on the season, only 60 field goals. He's a guy that has really distributed the ball well for Steve Lapis and the Minuteman offense.
Strong 12-point performance in a win over Rhode Island. That 4-point win for UMass. And as we take a look at Justin Cage now, going to get a respite, replaced by Diedrich Finn. What Mark's talking about, his ability to make that pass that leads to buckets for Maurice Maxwell. But I thought that road win, conversely, for UMass, a big one at Rhode Island as part of their 4-game win streak, Mark, that was finally ended, and that tough setback at home last Sunday to Dayton.
But it hasn't affected this team's psyche. They may have lost at home, but they know they've won 4 out of their last 5, and they're playing with a lot more confidence.
Justin Doellman just turned it over. Yeah, and again, Steve Lapis not wanting to get too far ahead of themselves. Both coaches feeling that way, but about 7 games left counting today for both these ball clubs coming down the stretch in the A-10. You could make a real case for UMass with a strong finish. They could jump possibly all the way up to number 2 in the East behind St. Joe's.
They could, and believe me, Steve Lapis understands that better than anybody. but if you don't take care of the basketball, it leads to bad things.
Can't do it that way. The turnover. And now Xavier to the offensive end. This is Diedrich Finn. Can't trigger that three. Art Bowers seated on the deck. Crowd thought it should have been a walk.
But he didn't move. Didn't
or a crawl.
Didn't move. So Art Bowers, nice play right there, getting on the floor after the loose ball.
Now Bowers being checked by Diedrich Finn.
Well, Romain Sato right there. Anthony Anderson comes off the screen, ready to pull the trigger. Romain Sato right in his face.
Stefan Lasme had it raked away. Another turnover on UMass. Not taking care of the basketball. That's their 5th miscue in this half. And stepping on that baseline, Lionel Chalmers. So Xavier returning the favor and quick turnovers each end.
Well, UMass with 14 turnovers and Xavier now with 12 turnovers, and Xavier, one of the stingiest teams in the country, number 12 and fewest turnovers per game, only averaging 12 turnovers a game, but with 13:40 to go, they've already got a dozen turnovers.
You don't go 105 at 8 here in your homes, whether it be Cincinnati's Gardens or here in the Cintas Center if you're turning the basketball over, and that's been a staple of the Musketeer program, valuing the basketball. They got another rip away. Had some numbers, but Diedrich Finn's going to pull it up. Now Finn will go baseline. Gave it up to Myles. Chalmers for three. Bang! Lionel Chalmers connecting on the three.
The extra pass from Anthony Myles, who passes up the 12-footer and unselfishly gives the ball to Lionel Chalmers again. The ball going from one side of the floor to the opposite side.
Yeah, the crowd groaning when Myles didn't pull the trigger, but they liked it better when Chalmers stroked that three.
Well, you've got to understand your limitations too, and Anthony Myles is not in there to shoot medium-range perimeter jump shots. Lionel Chalmers is in there to knock down long-range jump shots, and Xavier right there played to their strength.
The lead is 18. Important couple of minutes for UMass. Anthony Anderson misfiring badly on that triple try. Numbers for Justin Cage. The freshman went all the way to the rack. That's an offensive foul on Justin Cage.
And Thad Matta doesn't like the call, but Anthony Anderson surveyed that situation the entire time getting back on defense, recognizing that Justin Cage doesn't normally lead the break. Anderson steps in, takes the charge, looks legit to me.
It does. Yeah, very heady defensive move from 5'11" senior out of UMass, Anthony Anderson, who drew that charge.
Well, could have had an assist right there, Justin Cage, if he just gave it up on the left-hand side.
Xavier had numbers. Rayshawn Freeman shut off by Anthony Myles. The swing will find Anderson. It's going to come up short on the triple try. Chris Chadwick on the floor. Rayshawn Freeman pushed off Anthony Myles to clear space. And again, Steve Lapis not sure that he believes the whistle that just went against his Minutemen.
Well, in low post defense, it's oftentimes not how strong you are, it's how quick you are. And Anthony Myles was able to beat Rayshawn Freeman to the spot, and Rayshawn Freeman then pushing off at both coaches, getting after the officials a little bit right now.
Got to get in their ears, right?
Absolutely.
Buy something for somewhere down the way.
Make them earn that big money.
Romain Sato. The rainbow three wouldn't go down for him. Sato on the rip away. Sato hard to the hole, and he got drilled by Rayshawn Freeman. And that is going to be the intentional foul. 2 shots in the basketball. A little bit flagrant in the mind of the officials on Rayshawn Freeman.
You know, Rayshawn Freeman looked to me like he really tried to hold him up right here. There's the steal right there by Romain Sato. And you know, Freeman goes for the ball. I think that's just a good hard foul.
I thought I saw the official go up, but maybe he didn't. Maybe you're right.
I think that's just a legitimate hard foul. Went after the ball, and right away Rayshawn Freeman went right to Romain Sato, letting know there was no malicious intent.
Sato will step to the stripe. As you see, Romain well off that 16 points per game that he gives Thad Matta. I hope you enjoyed the piece on Romain Sato. Yeah, don't you love the website www.starinanylanguage.com for Romain Sato. A couple of free throw hits for Sato. Anthony Myles making it one extra pass and led to the Lionel Chalmers 3. The lead is 20 for Xavier. The Xavier lead has ballooned up to 20, and let's take a look at our Hall's Fruit Breezers screaming fan of the game here inside the Cintas Center. Is that a Valentine's Day look?
Who would date those guys?
Oh, I'm sure there are many young ladies here in the Xavier campus that love the look of those fellas when you need cool, soothing relief from a dry, scratchy throat. Reach for a Hall's Fruit Breezers treat your throat. Great to have you part of it today. And indeed, we're serving up a little, Cupid right through the heart arrow with a lot of sweet Atlantic 10 hoop along with it.
Well, you've been just a romantic guy today. You know, I mean, the Valentine's theme has
Absolutely.
really been a good one for you.
Well, I'm glad you think it works, partner. Saw that theme when we came into Cintas Center this morning. A lot of students getting ready for that. And I'm sure for their Valentine's Day festivities later on. UMass down by 20 now. This is Rayshawn Freeman in the crowd, and he's going to get to the free throw line. They pack it in tight, don't they, Mark, that Xavier defense when Freeman has the basketball?
Boy, they really do. They just surround Rayshawn Freeman down low. As soon as he touches the basketball, there are white jerseys everywhere. And Xavier doing a good job of ball hawking the basketball. It's one thing to drop on the low post and have active feet, but then have active hands against the big guy.
Well, Rayshawn Freeman, he has burst on the scene in the Atlantic 10 and has also had his game taken note of nationally as well. Well, this young man out of Schenectady, New York, packs about 250 pounds on that 6'9" frame. And Freeman from the free throw stripe splitting the pair to get UMass now back to within 19.
Here comes a little bit of half-court trap now from UMass.
Almost had that rip away. Steve Lapis trying to dial up the pressure. That reverse from Brandon Cole didn't go down, but he got clipped, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
When you go to the half-court trap, your entire focus is on the ball, and typically defenses like to really cheat up. Brandon Cole roaming the baseline, got behind Rayshawn Freeman down low. Nobody saw him slip into the crease for the entry pass.
I was chatting with associate head coach Sean Miller today, and they brought Brandon Cole over during the Xavier shoot-around, and this young man they thought very highly of. A freshman out of Illinois. Cole not able to connect. There's Sean Miller, fine point guard at Pittsburgh. Of course, was in this Cincinnati area as an assistant coach at Miami, and then joining Thad Matta's staff after his time at NC State.
Thad Matta also having a Miami of Ohio background as well, working with Charlie Coles there and Herb Sendek as well. So cradle of coaches, not only in football but also in basketball.
Oh, you want to spin it to the round ball. Anthony Anderson, that's from out in the suburbs, splashing that three. It's from NBA range out near that hash mark as Anderson deposited the three.
75% of his shots come from behind the arc, and he knocks down 41% of those shots. He is just deft from long range.
Third in the A-10. Diedrich Finn trying to answer. Look at the hops from Justin Cage and the stick back. He was up in the attic.
Justin Cage inserted the starting lineup for exactly that. Energy, hops, offensive board work.
That's a dozen for Justin Cage. Rayshawn Freeman got pushed as he was trying to reverse with the left hand. And he'll get right back to the free throw line. Let's go back to this strong freshman, Justin Cage, on the offensive glass.
Well, look at him slip right there. I mean, you can't block a guy off that continually moves without the basketball. Did not give up. He moved to his right, found the avenue, up strong, off the glass. Justin Cage.
And just got hit with his third personal foul. Anthony Anderson being checked tightly by Romain Soto. Trying to run Anderson off the screen. Rayshawn Freeman touched it up nicely, didn't he? Got the roll.
That time turned away from the pressure. Felt the double team coming, turned over the top. Nice soft roll.
Rayshawn Freeman now with 9. Now Lionel Chalmers on the breakdown. And Brandon Cole got hit with that Ball handling violation down in that baseline. Turned it over for the Musketeers.
Well, UMass continuing to switch up defenses. Again, now coming out in the half-court trap, half-court pressure. And Xavier not able to get the ball in the gap. Whenever you attack half-court pressure, you got to get the ball in the middle of the floor, then dribble penetrate, then you got a little 3-on-2 fast break.
Anthony Myles back. Well, Thad Matta last year, of course, had the luxury of having David West, consensus A-10 Player of the Year. You know, Mark, anytime teams would make runs at Xavier last year, I mean, David West was always there to put his ball club on his broad shoulders and to deny the hopes of clubs as Art Bowers comes up stroking a jumper.
Well, you're always a better coach when you have a legitimate go-to guy, and certainly Thad Matta with David West a year ago, and now with Chalmers and Sato, he's got 2 go-to guys this season.
Look at the trap pressure on Diedrich Finn.
Justin Cage just faces the basket. He's got a wide open layup.
Lionel Chalmers had the open look at the 3 that wouldn't fall for him. Bowers crossed it over. Art Bowers didn't finish. It'll stay with UMass. Now wait a minute. This might be changed. Yeah, Xavier's basketball.
And Steve Lapis dutifully sitting down as Jordan Mayo makes the call.
Justin Doellman to check back in. Good to have you part of the Atlantic 10 television network today. We're at the Cintas Center here in Cincinnati for UMass and Xavier with Mark Adams. I'm Michael Regai, our producer David Ashbrock, director Roy Alfers, Mark Wagner, our graphics coordinator, and Mike McCall handling the numbers with us. All of our fine A-10 crew. Please you drop by on this Saturday afternoon of A-10 Hoops. Now Chalmers off hesitation. Forced it up in the glass. Anthony Myles. Nope. Myles again. Stick-to-itiveness, Xavier's Musketeers.
Anthony Myles gets the deuce, but give the credit to Justin Cage. He's the guy that kept the ball alive on both offensive thrusts, and Anthony Myles also hustling hard, but Justin Cage just dominating on the offensive glass.
We go inside the 8-minute mark now. Again, Anthony Anderson trying to stroke it from way out beyond the arc. Rayshawn Freeman, battle on the deck, still loose. Kick basketball, new 35-second clock. It stays with the Minutemen.
There's an intense head coach. He's got some intense players getting on the floor for the loose ball.
8 points for Anthony Myles, the 6'9" senior. Look at him bang and battle on the offensive glass. Took him a couple of times, got the deuce. Xavier by 16. 16 as we're going to put Mark Adams to work. Go to drawing, coach, and give us this look at the offensive end of UMass.
How difficult is it for Rayshawn Freeman to score down low? It's very difficult. Watch the pass enter down low and watch the embryo envelop him as the Xavier Musketeers fall and drop on the post. Catches the ball. 5 white jerseys in the paint going after Rayshawn Freeman.
He is a marked man, no question about that, but rightfully so. He has been dynamic in what he's got done as a low post presence. Really, without Gabe Lee injured, the only low post presence that Steve Lapis has to put on the floor.
Yeah, coming into this season, Gabe Lee was a guy that Steve Lapis was really wanting to have a big year along with Rayshawn Freeman, but Freeman has had to pick up the slack on both offense and the defensive ends.
And Lee started the first 14, got injured against St. Bonaventure. Jeff Vigiano had that 3 crawl across the rim. Art Bowers baseline. And to kick it up top. Freeman stepping through, taken away. Got hit with a walk. Too many steps, Rayshawn Freeman.
And that time, because Freeman able to catch the ball at about 15 feet away from the basket, now he's a little bit out of his comfort zone. Now he's making a play one-on-one. Switches up pivot feet, and they call the walk.
18th turnover of the afternoon against the Minutemen. Too many to suit Steve Lapis. I'll give a lot of credit to this hawking Xavier defense. Romain Sato had it ripped away, but that UMass foul is going to go on Jeff Vigiano.
UMass going with the high risk and hopefully high reward defense in their half-court trap. Xavier able to move the basketball, but you know, UMass is a team, they not only play with their feet, but they like to play with their hands as well. They like to get their hands on ball and ball hawk quite a bit.
For just joining us, both these basketball teams playing very, very well of late. That's Romain Sato raising and ripping that jumper. Slow start for Sato. Scoreless in the first half. Now Romain with 7 as he's hit 2 of 5 from the floor here in half number 2. That's another walk on Maurice Maxwell. They get the 19th turnover on UMass.
You know, Michael, in football, you talk about special teams. In basketball, it's the same thing. Another out-of-bounds play in isolation for Sato up high. Measures the defender. 5 points on out-of-bounds plays today for Xavier.
Yeah, and as you said, it's something they value. Romain Sato just got sent away down underneath the hoop. Anderson gave it up. Chris Chadwick too strong on that 3. Anthony Myles taking down the miss for Xavier.
When the little things mean big successes in February, and Justin Cage and Anthony Myles just blocking off hard on the defensive end.
Doellman took a look at Myles, didn't want to go there. Inside the 6-minute mark now. Xavier jumped out to an early 12-point lead and really haven't been challenged. Myles with strength. Anthony Myles with 10 of his 12 here in the second half.
UMass goes box and 1. Romain Sato clears his man out the left-hand side, which creates another box on the offensive end, and Anthony Myles just shapes out down the post.
Steve Lapis watching get a stop with that lead, and now at 20. Anthony Myles, we showed you him a moment ago. He's been a force. Too much muscle for Jeff Viziano. Xavier by 20. They're happy inside the Cintas Center. Let's take a look at the U.S. Airways out of town Atlantic 10 scoreboard today. St. Joe's 22-0, paced again by Jameer Nelson and Delonte West with a 14-point win over Rhode Island. So now 11-0 in conference play for the Hawks. LaSalle got a home win today, won by 11. They even their mark up with that victory over St. Bonaventure. LaSalle now with Richmond at 5-5 out of conference play. Temple at home today beat Georgetown by 6. David Hawkins, big afternoon. He went off for 26.
You know, when Jameer Nelson was recruited, it came down to Temple or St. Joe's. He chose St. Joe's. How good would Temple be with a Jameer Nelson?
All I know is he's the cover boy on Sports Illustrated this week. Jameer Nelson on Hawk Hill. Outstanding season Phil Martelli and friends are putting together. Viziano gave it up. Shot clock at 2. Maurice Maxwell cannot find the range on the 3. This is Rayshawn Freeman. That wouldn't go down. The putback will fall from Maurice Maxwell. It's been a tough day for the freshman out of Philadelphia, but got the putback there on the baseline.
Well, and he's rangy. He's trying to get it done defensively, working the half-court trap, and also on the offensive glass. That's what makes these young players, they're lithe and they're athletic. They do a lot of different things for Steve Lapis.
Lionel Chalmers hurting that Massachusetts defense as he'll drain another 3.
Chalmers is in just a great groove right now. Every time he catches the ball, he's balanced, he's ready to shoot. He just looks like a guy that has transformed his offensive game over the last 2 weeks.
He has been a shining star, averaging 21 a game in this 3-game win streak that is looking like it's going to go to 4 in a row with Thad Matta and his Xavier Musketeers in control of this one as we approach the 4-minute mark left in it.
Lionel Chalmers now playing a little bit more point guard, and I think it suits his game well. 10 points on the day, 3 for 6 from behind the arc, came in shooting 53 over the last several games. So he's doing a great job of engineering the offense and taking good shots when they're presented. He hasn't forced anything all day.
No, he hasn't. Quite a nice round of applause for Anthony Myles, who sits down with his dozen points, 10 of them here in the second half. Viziano to load it up. Romain Sato again impressively on the glass. It's Lionel Chalmers with Romain Sato, the 2 freshmen, Justin Cage, Justin Doellman. Doellman wide open, look at it. He can stroke it, can he? That 3 looks pure out of his hand.
Justin Doellman letting it fly from his freshman mate, Justin Cage, with 5 assists, a career high for Justin Cage here this afternoon.
And Steve Lapis and UMass want to stop it again. Inside the 4-minute mark, it's all Xavier here in this 32nd timeout. But Justin Doellman came out firing Mark Adams and now getting involved again.
Well, Justin Cage finds the seam, draws the defenders, and Justin Doellman just wide open on the right-hand side. Both freshmen slapped a little 5 coming down the floor.
Why not? Career high for Justin Cage. His points and assists in a big afternoon from Justin Doellman. We have a second. We certainly want to thank Assistant Athletic Director and SID here at Xavier, Tom Iser, along with Head Coach Thad Matta and his staff, and Sports Information Director Charlie Bear and Head Coach Steve Lapis and his staff for helping us today and throughout this week in our preparation coming in here to the CINCINNATI Center. A couple of class head coaches. Very much. The thing you notice about both of them, Mark, is that you talk about their basketball teams with them and they light up. Love to talk about their ball clubs. And for Steve Lapis, a lot to look forward to with this young team playing well and coming together. And well, Thad Matta was interesting. He said, I'm only worried about today as far as getting this ball club out of shoot-around. Then we'll get them the pregame meal. We'll worry about that. Then we'll worry about getting them dressed and when the ball goes up, whether we're on offense or defense. So what he was telling us in a roundabout way is no talk about the future here down the stretch. It's one game at a time.
Well, every team has their own personality, and David West was the guy that willed that personality on his teammates 1 year ago. But this year, it's a different personality. And this ball club needs to take it step by step by step, and Thad Matta is right on target.
Anthony Anderson misfiring on the 3. And that's Jeff Viziano muscling his way in the paint.
The player of the year 2 years ago out of Suffield, Connecticut, has played very, very well. Again, this UMass ball club, they will be heard from. When you look at the Atlantic 10 and the quality young players in this conference, there's some big-time young guys in this league.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what Steve Lapis is trying to impress upon us. Xavier big by 22 when we get back. Let us take a look for you at the Canon Business Solutions game story. UMass at only 27%. Really haven't been able to find the range from a long distance. Points off turnovers have really hurt the Minutemen.
Points off turnovers 19 for Xavier. The ball hawking defense of Thad Matta and Justin Cage with career highs, 12 points and 6 assists. You got to like the chemistry of this Xavier team, and I love the chemistry of guys like David West and Byron Larkin and Tyrone Hill. Those guys could play.
That they could. Had a chance to talk to David West a little bit earlier this year down in New Orleans as he starting to get a little bit of time and off the bench with the Hornets, one of the top clubs in the NBA's East. Strip away from Xavier, and the Musketeers are right now 2.5 minutes away from evening their mark at 5-5 here in the A-10. And upping it to 14-9 overall. Will Caudle had it rejected by Stefan Lasme. Lasme just gave Caudle a facial. Couple of swats for the block machine Lasme. Now into the lineup, Brennan Martin, the 6'6 junior, has some playing time. And we told you this rotation only 8 deep to begin with for Steve Lapis with a couple of injuries.
Well, Stefan Lasme has been a contributor defensively and offensively. He gets up quick.
Now Lionel Chalmers in a hurry. Sato for 3. Nope. It'll stay with Xavier.
Romain Sato only with 7 points on the afternoon, but 11 rebounds. The seniors give tremendous leadership in February, and Sato is a guy that understands that if this Xavier club can win out, they've got a shot at some postseason play here. NIT, maybe NCAA, and this ball club could make a run in the A-10 tournament as well. I mean, they're gifted. It's not like Xavier's going out there with not a talented basketball team. Sato, Chalmers, Diedrich Finn. We see Justin Cage, Justin Doellman. This team's coming together, Michael, at the right time.
Oh, yeah, and of course they know how to play in March. A-10 tournament time, the last 2 years in the NCAA tournament, where they have won a game each year. 2 years ago, winning the first round, and then the same thing last year. As you look at the day for Romain Sato. Sato from the Central Republic of Africa. And I hope you understood all the the 6 languages.
Oh, yeah, I had all of them.
Now, I'm going to give you a test the next time I see you. As Justin Cage, who's had this brilliant day, just got whistled with his 5th personal foul to end his afternoon.
Well, Justin Cage, one of the real talented freshmen for Xavier. And when you coach a young team like UMass, one of the hardest challenges is the fact that a high school season runs from about late November until late February. Whereas collegiately, you come in and you start October the 15th. You're not done until March sometime. That's a long season for these young guys at UMass.
It really is. That was Stefan Lasme, hard on the offensive glass with a putback. Diedrich Finn on the push. Inside 90 seconds left. For UMass, they had a week after that tough setback against Dayton. Not able to generate anything offensively here from the outset and fell behind quickly in the Cintas Center.
Well, coming off a loss at home, the last place you want to go to try to get a win is the Cintas Center.
Yeah.
You've shown that all the way through the Cincinnati Gardens before the Cintas Center. Just a very difficult place for visiting teams to come in and win.
Jeff Viziano connect on the 3. Xavier, speaking of big ones in the Atlantic 10, 1 week from today, Dayton will be in here. Brandon Cole tried to take it strong to the hoop. He got rejected. Maurice Maxwell gliding inside, and Maxwell took a hard spill. Well, that's the last thing that Steve Lapis and UMass need, is to incur more injury.
Now, this ball club already decimated by injuries, and we've mentioned Gabe Lee earlier, who's been a stopper inside. But both these teams going hard, contact there. Coming right at the cameraman. Last thing you want to see in a game like this is somebody get hurt coming down the stretch.
Question about that. Doellman might have went over and back. No whistle. Will Caudle would send it home strong.
Boy, nice flash by Xavier. UMass trying to get out and cause some turnovers, but Xavier has solved the half-court riddle.
Another deep 3 from Anthony Anderson. And the Xavier Musketeers, another impressive home floor performance this afternoon in their campus in Cincinnati.
And Justin Cage now goes to 33-0 as a starter in the last 2 seasons.
4-0 as a Musketeer after winning a state title in Indiana. It's in the books. Over at Xavier, Stan Mata and the Musketeers rack up this 20-point win over the Minutemen of UMass. 64-44 the final. As Anthony Myles had a strong afternoon. Big second half for the senior center, as he was helped by those 2 freshmen, Justin Cage, Justin Doellman, that got it going early. All spells a 20-point Xavier win over UMass. All right, don't move. We'll come back and bring you more out of the Cintas Center following this big Xavier win over UMass.
Typical Bank, and by GMAC Financial Services.
It's a final in the Cintas Center where the Xavier Musketeers now rack up their 14th win of the year with this 20-point decision over the UMass Minutemen. Mark Adams standing by with the freshman duo, heroes today, and head coach Thad Mata. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thad, it's February, and you're undefeated over the last 2 years. What is the coaching magic?
I don't know if I have any magic. I thought that we defended today, and I thought that was, in February, I think you got to play great defense because, scouting becomes so prevalent, and I give our guys credit. We weren't as sharp offensively as we needed to be, but they kept defending and challenging shots, and pretty pleased with their effort.
4 games ago, you made a decision to start these 2 freshmen to my left. When you made that decision, it seems like chemistry has been a word that has worked for the Xavier Musketeers.
No, it has, and JC coming in has given us some size. I think he's given us some new energy, and he shot the ball well today. We know he does that every day in practice, and these guys are true competitors. They love to play.
They're great competitors. Congratulations, Coach. And Justin, you're now 33-0 as a starter, combined with your high school career and collegiate career. You brought it to the rack awfully hard today.
Yeah, I tried to go ahead and, rebound and just do what Coach said and everything. And just, he always talk about in practice, I need to be more, aggressive and take shots. So I went ahead and did it tonight.
Well, also, you were able to give it up several times. 6 assists on the afternoon. You're improving as a passer.
Yeah, I look for my teammates before I shoot, basically. So, it's kind of what I always had in the past.
And one of the teammates that you looked for was Justin Doellman. And Justin, just a wonderful job of knocking down the threes. It seemed like every time you got free, Justin gave you the basketball.
Well, I try to give him an assist every once in a while. I've been in a slump lately, so we've been in the gym shooting a lot together.
You took a little shot across the eye. What happened on that play?
Well, actually, it was one of my teammates that hit me in the eye.
Well, hopefully you guys will stay healthy the rest of the way. Justin, we got the Justin pair here. You guys did a tremendous job. 4-0 now as starters as Xavier comes through with a big victory today. So, Michael, back to you.
Yeah, Mark, the freshman duo, obviously, we talked about these seniors being tremendous for Xavier, and they have, but today the freshmen got them off to the big start. All right, let's take a look at the Bridgestone Firestone drive of the game, brought to you by your local Firestone Tire and Service Center, your #1 choice for all your tire and service needs. Maurice Maxwell. Maxwell, the freshman out of Philadelphia, with that take to the rim and finish as Maxwell and his UMass teammates today fall by 20. Xavier the win at 64-44. Don't go away. Got a final couple of words for you out of the CINCINNATI Center. That's right around the corner on the Atlantic 10 television network. Impressive today. They ran out early and held it all day long in this 64-44 win over UMass here at the CINCINNATI Center. Let's take a look at the Citizens Bank. Not your typical play of the afternoon. And this is where Justin Doellman took that shot that required stitches, huh?
Yeah, his own teammate, Anthony Myles, took him out and had to go get some stitches, but came back tough kid, ready to play.
That brought to you by Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. Play they did, and how. Know you enjoyed it. Michael Regai with Mark Adams. We talked about the seniors, Lionel Chalmers and Romaine Soto and Anthony Myles. They contributed, but those two freshmen that you just spoke to really got Thad Matta's ball club out and ignited here this afternoon.
Well, it's really all about chemistry, and when you talk about making a late season run, the teams that stay together, that travel well together, that like each other and share the basketball, those are the ones that survive, and Xavier looks like a survivor to me.
They're going to take their way through this month of February as they normally do in strong fashion, as Xavier with a 20-point victory over UMass today. Know you enjoyed it here at the CINCINNATI Center as the Musketeers now even up their A-10 mark at 5-5 while UMass falls to 3-7. We will be looking for you along the way soon here on the Atlantic 10 television network. Now for our producer David Ashbrock, Director Roy Alfers, all of our fine crew, and my partner Mark Adams, I'm Michael Regai. Xavier strong this afternoon at home. Nothing new there. The Musketeers protect his home floor as well as anybody.